I've got Tepper here, and we are Friday. And I'm actually going to go over here and power up my good old-fashioned doodly wop over here, whatever its name is. It's like, no, really. Subscriptions. I don't know. Who's live? Well, okay. Somebody needs to fine. So apparently I'm not live yet on YouTube. So we'll wait until YouTube. Yeah, we'll wait till YouTube catches up. So how you been, Pepper?
Well, it's been a long 2 days, man. Yesterday and today, after I got off the call with you on Wednesday and then Thursday, I don't know, I've just been kind of in a mental funk type deal.
A fugue? Yeah.
But it's nothing to do with you, just my own personal.
I mean, what?
No. It has nothing to do with anything with doing the show or anything. I did think about not doing the show today because of it, but then Bill usually tells me, why don't you just do it, because then you're like, maybe I should have done it later on in the day.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not obligated to be here, my friend.
I know, but it's one of those things of sometimes when I go through this stuff, it affects on how I do my art, how I, and I've talked about it on the show before on how mental state kind of interfere with the creative process, especially when you're so.
Yar. Okay, now my iPad's working.
Oh, gotcha.
So I have to get my iPad rigged but internet is super slow today.
Well, I do have one thing to show to you that came in yesterday, and I think you would get a kick out of it. So, one of the one of the handmade watercolor makers that I am aware of that lives in Montana, she made a palette where she was donating the proceeds or the profits to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got this palette. It's 3 yellows and 3 blues.
Oh, that makes sense.
And this is what they look like on the page.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can actually get quite a few different variations of the color, especially with greens and browns. Surprisingly enough, this one makes browns with blue and yellow.
Yeah.
So,
red. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah. So, she has she has a neutral, a warm, and a cool yellow, and the same with blues. So she has a warm blue, a neutral blue, and a cold blue. If anyone wants information on that, by all means, I will care to elaborate. A cool yellow just means it's slightly more capable of becoming green.
Right, but it's also more red.
And yeah, a warm yellow is more red. So the redder one will probably, unless you mix it with a warm blue, you will get a green. If you mix it with a cool blue, you get a brown.
Right.
And the neutrals kind of just become neutral. I don't know how to express it. It's not green, but it's not brown. It's just there. It's like a gray-ish light color. So, anyway, I just figured. She only sold. I want to say she only sold about 10 of those kits. So, and it's the third time that she's actually made them. So, second or third, something like that. And it's that company called Art of Soil that I've talked about on the show before.
Right. I've actually got a couple of samples from them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How do you like them?
So far, I like them, but I sadly have not spent much time doing watercolor. Spent all of my life here doing this forever. So,
All right.
we'll get there. It depends on how this does at the con. We'll see.
It's all good.
So, anyway, yeah, I'm actually just finishing this up, and then once I finish this up, it's going to go over to dry.
Hey, Brent.
I would say I see Brent, but I don't. Ah, there's Brent. So, all right, this guy can go over to dry. Level 1 drying. Let's see where we are on some of these guys. So I did manage to finish a couple of these, which look really cool.
I saw your post.
But I mean, it's like, in real life, it's so much cooler. Because I mean, like...
Sorry, Brent. I don't know what's going on with Twitch.
Well, I'm super slow today, too. I don't know what the story is. But let's come back here. If you look, it's really, I mean, obviously, once I get it out of the light, it is so much cooler. It looks so neat.
Wait.
Yeah. So that's what we've got. And then I did the second one, number 2, was based off of Door. So this one's the one that I did for what's
Yeah.
it? I can't even remember. What's them? It does need some kind of locking mechanism, but yeah, that one turned out pretty cool too. And I set up the third one, but I think the third one's going to be Pikachu and Stitch as a setup. And these guys are done. So I just need to clean them up because they've got fingerprints all over them. So I got to deep fingerprint them. But we've got, Harley. She's standalone. And she's reversed, which is good because I actually trashed one of my Harleys by accident. And then I've got Black Widow. So we're going to clean those up in just a second here. The rest of them are all drying at this point in time. So I did try to do sort of an enhanced version. And I had an idea, but I don't think it's going to work. Because I set this one up. This is just a test. But I set it up with sparkle paint. And you actually just can't see it. So it's sad. And I'm sad because of that. But I tried to set up with like all the yellow is glitter paint.
Uh-huh.
That didn't work. So oh well. You are almost dry. I've got everything over here drying. I've just got a zillion cells over here drying. It's very funny. Okay, so Anyway, I'm going to put the cells in these guys, which I think are really cool. They're just clear binders, allow us to put them in there and kind of make them look nice. I haven't tried to see what one looks like inside there and how clear it is. Might not be very clear. We'll see. So putting some Windex on here. Try to remove some of the worst of the sort of atrociousness on here. So that's a thing. Anyway, so there we go. That's what I've been doing. I've been prepping for the convention here and trying to get most of the fingerprints off of here because I'm horrible with fingerprints. There we go. But I also don't know if I want to spray these things direct with Windex. You know, that seems like that's a bad idea. Just spray it.
Are you talking about like spray it where the paint is?
No. Yes, that's what I mean. I'm getting really close to it and spraying the Windex, near it. But also, it has bits and pieces of. Although I guess if Windex pulls the paint off, it's actually kind of a useful thing to know.
I mean, yeah, because if you mess up on one, then you can take it all off.
Right? Could be kind of cool. In its own way. But the front I can just spray. I'm not that worried. This is not my better one, is it? This is the worst of the two. Hers. So this is a good test person sort of thing. Whatever. Put her in here and see what happens. That's two of these. You idiot. You got their stunt doubles. All right. So it's not bad. You can still see her pretty well inside here. She's not. And then I can manhandle this all I want because the cell is not actually touching. You're not actually touching the cell in this, so that's actually pretty cool. Useful. We'll price that one cheaper than the others because I didn't do so good a job. I am actually pretty pleased with this Pikachu. I did use gold paint for the electricity on either side. That's kind of fun. Hoping that'll turn out cool. One can hope, anyway.
Hey, metallic paint has its very good uses.
Yeah, it didn't turn out as cool as I wanted it to, though, and that made me bummed out.
Well, the problem that I have with metallic paint at times is it seems to not ever look good unless it's like an accent. I don't like using it for large swaths
Yeah.
because the moment that you start using it for like larger swaths of color, like something just takes away from the entire piece.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just for me, my art style. So that doesn't necessarily mean mean it doesn't work for other people. That's just me. Um, like I think it has its place. However, like I notice a trend that's been happening since I started making watercolor paint, where tons of people have been doing more metallics, color shifting, um, and other types of like very metallic or basically shiny watercolor paint, and it's just like I, I like what they're doing, and I think that it's great that they're doing it, but at the same time, I kind of don't like that.
Right.
I've seen people like taking legit like sparkles, like like glitter sparkles, and putting it in paint for watercolor, and unfortunately, I would never use it because the moment that I put my brush to that, then I have sparkles infused everywhere, and I just don't care for it.
Glitter, which goes everywhere.
Well, and glitter's hard to get out of paintbrushes,
Really
just like
is.
it's hard to get out of rugs.
We're just saying. There we go. Got a Harley here. That will work. This is one of my better painted Harleys, so she'll be slightly more expensive.
Sweet. And this is all for Wicked West.
And this is for the anime hangout.
Oh yeah, that's this weekend, right?
That's this weekend, yeah. So that's what I'm doing here is just getting these guys squared away. This side I can just squirt with a blast of the Windex, and we're good. But then the other side, be more careful with. I've learned a lot about cell building, though, over the last couple of days, as you might imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to do less dramatic paints. I went to Gyrie's and they were like, "Yeah, we've got this titanium white in a big jar, big thing of titanium white." It was cool, but then it was really clumpy, like it was very thick, which you'd think would be great, but then that left streaks. So
Yeah. Well, I think we discussed not all acrylic paint is the same at one point.
yeah, I don't know. Acrylic paint is the same at a lot of points.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like how should I put it? Like the Dollar Paint Craft acrylic paint, I think does very well.
Yeah.
It's the same, and surprisingly enough, if you ever did the old studio tour for animation studios when it was either in Florida or in Burbank for Walt Disney World, the one in Florida, if you look at their paint consistency, it was similar to the consistency of those paints.
Yeah.
And then if you do a little bit of
Troy,
digging,
hang on.
Mhm.
Oh no, I was just Troy asked a question, and I was going to let you finish your statement before I
fine.
answered. No, it's okay.
It's all right.
Troy, I'm heading to the con tonight at 7. To answer your question, he's on through asking me if I'm going to his house tonight or not.
Oh,
Which I was
okay.
going to totally call him and tell him I wasn't, and then didn't.
I mean,
All right, this just turned out really nice, though. Thank you, sir. I will miss you as well. I don't know what Kevin's plan is, though. To answer the next question, he came over yesterday and did nuts and bolts for the large structures that I've got, but then we discussed. He was like, "Are you going to go to Troy's?" And I said, "No, I'll have to call Troy." And he goes, "Okay." And then we discussed what he was going to do. So there was that. So clean this Pikachu cell. I hope you guys as well. But hey, I might make money. Or, not. We'll see. Hey, Troy, did you finish your paperwork for the IndieK board meeting? There's something I can ask you. If you have anything you need to say, that's on Sunday. So. Nope. You have anything to say? You're a woman. All right. You can go in here upside down, apparently. You're going to do. Go ahead and die. I'll do it tonight. Okay, but I had kind of hoped people wouldn't do that, and I was afraid people were going to start doing that. So, because I'm going to be at the con tonight and at the con all day tomorrow, so I'm going to have to do. There we go. Have to print out your report. So please try to do it by noon if you can, because I'm going to go to Kinko's one more time at noon. So. And I can print all of these things out when I'm at Kinko's. A cute little Stitch. Look at Stitch. He's all mean.
his bad meter is up.
His bad meter is up.
Hello. Hey, that person's coming in from Twitch.
Yeah, and we will totally pretend it's not Brent.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. So apparently, somebody was commenting earlier that the more views we get from various locations, the better it shows up for us. So that's what Brent is doing, is popping over onto Twitch and popping over onto YouTube and giving us the hits there too. So, which is cool. I hope Brian shows up at some point.
Maybe, maybe not. We don't know.
Why would you phone in? Try to phone in. Why would you do that?
If he wants to join, that's fine. I'm not going to stop him. It's your show.
Oh, he's talking about for the convention meeting.
Oh, well.
I need your room count. That's one of the reasons why this is important. I need your room count and your staff count.
I didn't know I had a room count.
You don't.
I don't?
No.
Wow.
That was always the problem we were going to talk to you about, Pepper. There. Isn't that cute? Look at that.
Although I do believe that both of them would neutralize one another out. However, Pikachu would probably take a lot of damage before it was done.
It's like this, a mini kaiju battle.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. At some point, I'll get you on here. But you have to be working on something not computer. It has to be art related. So you have to paint minis.
I don't think so, because you have my husband sometimes on this show, and he doesn't do art.
Stop. Not you. Computer. Stop.
Okay. I stopped the stream.
Thanks. So you can keep talking. It wasn't you. It was Alexa, who all of a sudden decided to find stuff on the web for me.
Okay.
So she was doing here's what I found on the web. According to Wikipedia, the blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa. Just stop, please.
So apparently, I'm drawing these two characters. For like here.
Ugh. And the quality is low. Okay, there they are.
Yeah. So Bill had this whole entire idea where it's two gamers and a baby, and
A baby. I saw that show.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's two gamers plus one, but gamers is spelled gay, MERS.
Oh, I've seen that mentioned a couple of times. Like, it's a thing.
Yes, it's males that are gay or females that are gay that also game.
Well, yeah, but I've seen that whatever we want to call that moniker.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for, was moniker. It just took 62 years.
Yes.
So, I need a screwdriver, I think. Probably need a screwdriver at some point for this. So these work really well. These are acrylic sign holders. And the idea is that they're supposed to be bolted into the wall. But what I've come up with that works a whole lot, well, not better, I guess, because they work great as sign holders, but work just as well, is to put the cells in them and then make a stand that holds the cells, which I think is really cool. But we need to clean the cells first.
You need to clean the sauce.
Clean the sauce. It's exactly what I said. Clean the sauce.
Yes, because everyone needs to clean their sauce.
Everybody should do that. Just cleaning the other sauce, which is on my desk because it's apparently picking up stuff. All right. So there we go. We've got just getting the worst of my fingerprints off of here. So my mom Troy says, your mom, used to retype scripts. That was something she would do. So she'd get a script from somewhere and she'd retype it. And she had one guy who would have her type up the scripts. And some of the things that he wrote were hysterical because we couldn't tell what. Oh, I see what you're saying, Troy. Troy is saying he is working on minis. Troy could join. Troy, are you interested in joining? If you're working on minis, you can join. I didn't understand what Troy was saying. I don't know if Troy gave up on the call or not, or the show, because I didn't understand what he was saying. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, Troy. Because we were jumping between two different topics there.
It's fine. I mean, if he's still here, join. It's fine. I need to use the loop, so I'll be back.
You're gonna skip? Skip to your loo?
Skip to the loop, my darling.
Yep.
If my husband comes in here and starts talking to you, I can't prevent it.
Fine. We actually like your husband. Oh, you don't have the camera set up. Okay. Well, I mean, I was willing. I didn't realize that was what you were saying, so I apologize for that. I thought you were just non sequituring, and I was like, I don't understand what that had to do. Okay. All right. What I did learn was, boy, it is no fun doing the cells that are in realistic style, because we did the work on this character here. This is the oh, come on, Door Girl. We did Door Girl here. She actually was kind of a pain because with the black lines, I can kind of at least work with that black line to make it so I don't bleed over too much, you know. But without that black line, boy, it is difficult. Difficult. And like I said before, hoping Brian will show up. If he does, because he's also setting up for the same con. So that's what I'm hoping for here. And I'm hoping he'll join, that we can talk about convention rigging up for conventions and setting up for stuff. Because one of the things that I'm going to do here in a few minutes is start making signage for this convention. Now I'm just going after, you know, as much as I enjoy having this particular one out, Dork Girl. Dork Girl, huh? Gotcha. I put the other part over here somewhere. Or did I just literally do that? I did. No, I didn't literally do that. What did I do with that other half? I haven't left this room. There is no way that other half has vanished. I guess there's a way that the other half has vanished. The problem with cells is that they're mostly transparent. So it's really hard to, oh, there it is. So it's very hard to see where it wandered off to. Door Girl, I think, actually kind of needs to be in her own, or in a, not a cheaper rig, but, well, right under the floor. I just touched the edge of this. Okay.
Sweet.
It occurs to me the Door Girl probably ought to, even though it's kind of a bummer, but Door Girl has a really cool background. So probably Door Girl ought to live in one of these guys.
Okay.
There we go. Because I don't have a good way of setting up a 3-stack on this.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I sort of have it, but I need to come up with a better rig. And in order for this to look good, and you can just see the 3 different layers in here, kind of needs to be set up like that.
Okay.
So put her back over here. We can go one more pass on that. And I will switch over to this guy. And you can see at the desk. We're just going to go in here real quick. Just have some more. Just trying to kind of clean up some of the light bleeding that's going on here. So I usually do about 2 passes on this.
You're cleaning up some light bleeding?
Yeah, light bleeding. When you have light bleeding, you want to make sure you apply pressure.
Do you use a tourniquet?
No, because it's light bleeding. If it's heavy bleeding, you use a tourniquet.
Good to know.
Yep. With this pass, she should be pretty much ready to go. And I'll have 2 of these on the table. Should be good. Got 2 Harleys, 2 of these, and 2 of the Stitch versus Pikachu, and then 2 of the 1 Door Girl and 2 of the of Chang, which I'll have different backgrounds for. So that should be cool. you're pretty solid.
Troy, you can definitely make inappropriate jokes. It's fine. I think them all the time. Sometimes I can't say them on the air.
You're right. Did he just do like a George Bush impersonation though? Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Probably. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You're making George Bush jokes. All right. I'm getting the fingerprints off of this cell. I think this is one where I'm just going to put it into. There we go. Just making sure. I've got a light that's shining straight off of the cell, so I can kind of see if there are fingerprints still left. So
I would make a suggestion of like wearing gloves when you do this stuff.
well, when I do the painting, it doesn't work as well, but gloves would work. What I'm actually doing is I've got a paper towel that's folded over,
Mm.
and so that's working.
Gotcha.
Not ideal, but it's close. We're good.
That would be me.
All right.
Now, the art team that I work with on one project, they the company had the
Cool, Brent.
company. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I actually just set up. Bill helped me set. Hey, Donald. Set up my Steam account as well, so I can play Cuphead. So, um, so the art team is commenting on essentially uh, the game that this is involved in is basically there's tons of misprints that actually made it to print,
Wow.
and so I actually am one of the people that has misprints. So they put my name on someone else's artwork, and then there's like I think there's my artwork, and then it has someone else's name. But I think they caught that before it was printed. But they printed my name on someone else's artwork, and like
Cool.
yeah, so those cards are actually now worth more than
Right. Because
they
they're misprints.
yeah.
That makes sense.
And then one of my cards got a reverse hollow, so the background's all hollowed, and then the actual figures, like the characters that I drew in it, are not. And then there was like half of those got misprinted because the holographic adhesion
Yep.
was unaligned properly. Sorry, it was yeah, it was unaligned. So basically, like there's like a centimeter right at the base of it that has no holographic where there's supposed to be holographic.
Uh-huh.
And so that increased those cards. And
Wow.
there's only about 50 of them. So, yeah, so I just basically was like, oh, welcome to the misprint club on the art team.
Right. Misprint. Like miscreant, except different.
Yeah. So,
So I'm just gonna trim this background. There we go. And that way she can have a cool background.
yeah. Can you hear Bill or no?
Nope.
Okay.
So you're after is not hearing Bill? I like Bill. There we go.
Well, the thing is he's talking and I can hear him through my door, and I don't know if he's being picked up over on my mic. So I just wanted to make sure because he's technically in a meeting with his boss. So, yay!
I like putting the glitter paper behind these because they look so cool when they're glitter papery.
Oh, and here I thought it was because you like glitter.
That too. I mean, we've had this discussion.
Yep.
I adore glitter. Glitter is the best stuff on the planet. And it's horrible for the environment. And I've got some really cool holographic paper right here, which we'll have to put somewhere. Look at this.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to have to put it behind something. I don't know what, but I'll have to put it behind something.
Yeah. One of the things that they wanted us to do at conventions, like, because I'm going to Dallas for a convention with the game that I'm paired with,
Sure.
and like what's super weird about it is like they had these cards made up with holographic backgrounds, or like just holographic sketch cards. Pretty much the only thing I can think of like using on them is like Sharpie or acrylic or Posca pens. I don't know if I really want to be down for using them because I've tried them in the past. They're very, very hard to draw on for me particularly.
Troy is a peanut. Oh, sorry. I'm just helping.
Well,
Are you talking about Posca pens?
Yeah, Posca pens.
Yeah, because I was just using those Posca pens yesterday to try to make sparkly sides on this.
Sparkly sides?
Yeah, so I was trying to. So the idea was to put the Posca pen down first because I got some glitter Posca pens. To see if I couldn't put down some glitter paint first and then put down the white. And it didn't work as well as I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Sadly. Yeah, we should have Pepper on Geek Tank for a topic. That's a great idea, actually. I mean, it'd be a thing. We'd have to come up with a topic, and Pepper has a hard time talking, so you could see that being an issue.
I have no problems talking.
That's the joke.
Oh.
As in, we could probably just wing it and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to necessarily have a topic.
I mean, what do you guys normally talk about on there? Anime?
We talk about all kinds of stuff. If it's geeky, we talk about it.
Okay. Like, what would you think I would be on there for? Like,
Probably something art related, I would assume, but yeah, that's not necessarily a given. So, I mean, who knows? What do you geek out about?
I geek out about a lot of stuff, so I don't. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you could bring me on there, and we can do a Florida Man edition of D&D for the show.
There you go.
I mean, that would be okay. I would probably say I'd probably prefer the guy that likes to throw gators into restaurant windows.
Nothing worse than gators in restaurant windows. I'm just saying. All you people.
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
I enjoy cryptids, so like if you guys did like an episode for like cryptids,
Mm-hmm.
fine. I grew up going to the Appalachia area when I was a kid, so I know about those, and I know about Florida ones.
Appalachia. 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 I'm just making up stuff.
Nah, it's fine. I think I'm drawing a Harvey version of a creepy kid right now, so.
So many possibilities, says Troy. Okay, we could put blue glitter behind her. That might be kind of cool because she's blue. That would be neat. I think that'd be kind of nice. We also have some other options, though. I've got kind of a pearlescent, sort of purplish blue, which doesn't show up as well on the monitor. But then I've got like set fire to the universe. I love this. Look at this.
That's
like, isn't that awesome?
that's glitter.
It is serious. It is so hardcore. I have this guy. He's kind of cool too.
Oh, like subdued glitter.
Yeah, it's holographic. So I've got a lighter shade of blue, which would be good too. I don't know. It could be either one of these blues, I guess. Okay. See you later, Troy.
Bye, Troy.
Thank you. And so this is not bad either.
No, that's not bad.
I feel like the darker blue might go better with her outfit. Now I could also do red. Like I have this. This could go here too. I don't know. I think this actually belongs to my kid. So maybe I won't steal it from him.
Are you talking about the paper?
Yeah. I think that belongs to the kiddo. No, I think the big bright red one's the one that belongs to the kiddo.
Well, time to go shopping.
Let's say I'll get him another one. He hasn't noticed it yet. So, but I mean, like, if we put red on here, it does have a cool effect.
Well, I mean, it goes better with the actual character because her character colors are literally red and black.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true. We'll do that. And then I'll just get him another one. So let's go ahead and clean this cell. So it looks like the tech manual will make it here on Monday. So
Oh, nice.
all of that work to get it here on time. UPS decided to drag their feet.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm waiting on a package that was supposed to arrive on Tuesday. It is now Friday. I already reached out to the seller and told them, like, hey, something's wrong.
Yep. Yeah, I was hoping to have the mails here.
Crypt cucarachas from the Cauldron of Doom.
There we go. There. Looks pretty cool, actually. There we go. Looking nice. Looking nice. Waiting for a few of these other guys to dry. I don't think you're ready, and you're not ready. I'm going to take you apart and work on you. Sent Kevin off last night to find hardware to hold these two together because they came with a certain amount of hardware, but it was designed to hold it onto a wall
Mm-hmm.
and not designed to hold them together as a unit. So, here we are doing weird stuff again. And the other bolt for this thing. He assembles things weird. Okay. So it was pretty funny because he did a really good job of finding all the stuff that we needed. Worked really well. So, but it was still pretty humorous to have him bringing weird pieces. I'm sure that this must have been funny for him to go to a hardware store and say, well, I need these screws to hold these two signs together.
I mean, it's not the weirdest question I've asked in a hardware store.
True.
I mean, when you go into a hardware store and you ask them, hey, do you have wheelbarrows, a shovel, and baggage in large garbage bags? Then you get a few looks.
Yep.
And then it's one of two things. You can either say, well, I just murdered someone, or I'm an artist and I need to clean up my project.
Yep.
In which case, both of them actually fit, which is really sad. Really sad.
It is.
I actually did think about it the other day, and it seems like artists do have a lot of commonalities with murderers.
Yep. Photographers too.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking about what would ever happen if anybody actually bugged my line whenever I started talking about bodies and stuff like that. Because I'd have extra bodies in the trunk and then I'd be going out shooting, you know. There we go. I actually feel like you and you should be. It occurs to me. Cool. There we go. Okay, so you're clear. Over here until I clean the other one. And then I need you over here for work. I would say stand up because we're at break time, but I'm already standing.
Mm.
Thank you, light, for turning back on to super bright so I can see what I'm doing over here. All right. There we go. There. Right? I mean, you know, if they didn't decompose, we could just use them in our art themselves. Well, George is over there watching me again. He's doing the, what the heck are you doing?
So Brent is asking, what are the plans for next week other than the con, guy?
That's a good question. I'm probably going to just keep going with where we were on my comic. I don't know if I can make 12 pages, but we've got 2 weeks before Wicked West. So if I can get those 12 pages out, I'm not sure I can, but if I can get those 12 pages, then we could send those to the printer and see if they make it. There we go. This one works. So she's got a little background for her too, and sparkles. So there's that. I think the last ones that I just did will be the ones I'm going to put in the big plastic containers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the last ones I did are the best ones that I've done. So I'll put
Okay.
Blue and Stitch in one of these guys. And then I'll put the newest Umbrella Girl one in there as well. But they're still drying on the drying stands. So that means we move to the next piece, which is ensuring that we are ready by getting things like this, our money box out.
I just have a whole bunch of drawing to do for next week, so my life is very boring.
Oh, this is noisy. Noisier than I expected it to be. Did not actually expect it to be this noisy.
Sorry.
And I have $3 whole to start this with, which is good. So if you need change, I can give you $3 back. How about that?
Astro Mech Build Co.
Oh, he's still working on his astromech, which is important. Important. All right. We have to get this. I am somewhat famous for this, which cracks me up every time. My picnic basket that everybody's like, you have a picnic basket? Every time I show up.
I always dress my table in a picnic cloth, so we're not that far apart. I actually thought about using old luggage, like old suitcases and stuff, to actually hold my artwork for people to actually like come over and like peruse it.
Right.
But then I realized like those things can walk away.
And they can.
You know.
So I'm pulling this stuff out for the first time in 2 years. Wow. There's literally dust in here. Like my little bowl that I use for holding business cards, literally just a layer of dust in there. It's caked on too. It was kind of weird.
I'll blame George.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I now have actual business cards to go with me
Yep.
to the table, which say, join my show.
Ugh.
I also got some replacement red paint last night. So I got some actual like fire engine red paint for my watercolor set. Because I've been kind of thinking my watercolors were really like weirdly mild. So
Weirdly mild. What do you mean weirdly mild?
like they were the red was weirdly blue or bluish, so it's kind of more of a purple. I didn't like it. It didn't turn out nice.
Have you been washing? Do you wash your paintbrushes?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. It just was very bluish. So I got this better red. for it. And so we'll see what happens there. All right. Convention box.
So, Donald, I believe this weekend the convention is it in Colorado Springs or is it in Denver?
The one that I'm going to?
Yeah.
Oh, it's here. It's here in Denver.
Yeah, it's here. Yeah, it's in
It's,
Denver. But what hotel?
It's an anime fest. It's at the Embassy Suites at Havana and I-70.
Okay. So it's in the same place that Rocky Mountain Comic Con is usually.
Yep.
But-
You got it. That's it.
Yeah. So, and then the convention I am going to is in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and that's at the end of May.
Yeah.
Because this weekend they have an event that would have taken me to Ocala, Florida. However, I am not able to go. So, yeah. Although I've heard good things about Spookala.
Yeah. All right. So, I am pulling out tablecloths here.
Messages from Bill.
But on the topic of going to Dallas, I believe you've been to Texas because your father lived there, right?
That's correct. And I've been to Dallas zillions of times.
So I'm just going as to just check Dallas out. I've never been to Texas, and I'm like, well, hell, I'll go and you do your thing, and I'll explore Dallas. Is there anything I should check out in Dallas while he's doing his thing?
So Donald says there's an old spaghetti factory in Fort Worth that was awesome back in the day. So you can look up that.
Okay.
Yeah, DFW. The thing about DFW, there's a lot of interesting sites through there, but the best thing I ever knew that we ever went to was a place in Midlothian, which is just south of DFW, but I think it closed a couple of years ago. Great little diner. Trying to think, just kind of running through my head. They used to have Acon out on Mockingbird Lane, and there was some good places around there, but I feel like that neighborhood's kind of gone bad recently. So not a lot of fun stuff out there anymore.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I'm like, no, I can't think of anything specific.
I'm just gonna let Google be my guide. So
Yeah, that'll work. Knocking stuff over. Your geek tank. You are not, in fact.
all right, I'm gonna go back to work.
Sorry, Bill.
It's okay.
I'm prepping. So I'm no fun, and I know it.
Oh, Bill!
Yeah.
It's not that far from old NASA.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll check that out.
What do you mean, old NASA?
Donald said it, not you.
Well, NASA does exist in Texas, don't they?
Yeah, but it's 5 hours south of Dallas, so
Oh.
Okay.
not,
So,
not a hop, skip, and jump.
I mean,
That's
Brent,
why I'm asking. I'm like,
Brent,
what do
we
you
don't
mean?
need to know where your ex is unless you're calling for some type of bad thing to happen to her because, you're cashing in a favor.
yeah,
That's
NASA,
joking, folks.
there's
Not a
nothing.
real hitman.
By the time you get up to that part of Texas, it's pretty much effectively like it is here. Climate's the same. Everything's pretty much the same. So there's that. Well, hail. I'm not sure. Well, let's take hold of what we've got for Prince. Someday my prince will come. Someday my prince will come. It looks like we still have some Poison Ivy prints. Supergirl prints. Death prints.
I think it has to be kind of like around. He's just probably going to check out stuff around where we're going to be located near the hotel for right now, folks. So if there is a spaghetti factory, that would be great. Then he'll get to go and do an informational tour about food and spaghetti, which I think would be good for him if he wants to do that. It's not like
it is a thing.
Yeah, I mean, if we were going to Austin, Texas, I think it would be a little bit more fun due to the fact that they're like, one of the cities in America that decided that they like being weird. However, I'm sorry, between Austin and Portland, everyone has told me it seems quite normal to me, but maybe it's because I'm from a town called Jupiter and they don't think they're weird there, but it's a pretty weird town. So,
Austin or Jupiter?
I think all like if you grew up in a town that wasn't classified as a city per se, but then they had like this odd thing about them, I think they're all weird in their own unique way. However, when people describe Austin's weirdness and Portland's weirdness, I still feel like I grew up in a place weirder than that.
Yeah.
So, and if anyone's a fan of Psych, the TV show and their two movies, I think I figured out on how to approach the Sassy Sasquatch. And if anyone's watched those show, the Sassy Sasquatch is a fake barbecue place that Sean uses against his friend to try to get him to go into the woods to solve a mystery.
Not sure what to think about that, but okay. I mean, I will think the same things I always think.
You really need to watch Psych. I think you would enjoy it. It's a bunch of 80s like callbacks and throwbacks. They have an episode, I believe, in season 5 where they finally go to a cinnamon festival, which they've been talking about like forever. And they basically, in that episode, it's like a Twin Peaks like fan montage type deal. They have like a bunch of Twin Peaks actors as well in that episode. So like I think you would enjoy everything about the show because they literally reference like 80s music, they reference like a lot of like 80s and they were kids in the 80s too. So it's not just like, oh, they were like born in the 80s. No, they were like kids. They were like your age. Like
They were old like you.
no, they're not old. Like, well, okay, hold on.
They are old.
Well, they were in elementary school in the early 80s. So they're not that much younger than you.
No, I was. Yeah, I mean, I was in elementary school through the early '80s, but
Yeah, they had George Takei on their show as himself, and they literally did a runaround to make them like basically George Takei's actual personal assistant while at the convention that they were located at.
that's entertainment.
And he fired one of them, and they weren't really working for him.
That gets to the, can he fire us? But I'm not working for him.
Guy. Honestly, I think you would absolutely have fun with the series. And if you have like a Comcast for your cable service, I believe you get access to Peacock for free, and they stream the episodes from there.
Yeah, sadly, I still have a subscription to Peacock, even though I didn't want it.
Why did you not want Peacock?
Well, just because I only had Peacock for all the Olympics,
Uh-huh.
and then tried to cancel it, and it became this big, huge frou-for-all. And it had nothing to do with Peacock. It had everything to do with the way I picked up Peacock was through Google, and then Google wouldn't let me disconnect it unless I had the app. So I downloaded the app and tried to disconnect it, and then it wanted me to disconnect it through the Peacock app, and then the Peacock app. So it was like, and so finally I was like, ugh, I give up on it.
Okay.
So it was just stupid. But it had nothing to do with Peacock. It had everything to do with just weird, like, why is this so complicated? It doesn't need to be this complicated. You know. All right. So I have a number of tablecloths, which should be fine. Brian shows up. I keep saying that. But Brian's like, hey, we should do a show this week on setting up for the convention. Then he didn't show up all week. I was like, okay. Okay. I am trying to figure out what else I need since I'm rigging everything. Hey there. You're seeing all the things in here, aren't you? You're like, hey, look at all these things I could disrupt or get into or whatever. Wouldn't that be amazing, says George. Being inside all these boxes you just hauled out? Imagine the destruction.
Just remember, if it fits, it sits.
Yep. I could do so much damage. You know the damage I could cause. All right. Okay. Welcome to adulting. Okay, I think I have figured out all of the stuff that I can just kind of drudge up to take with me. Like I've got some extra prints that are left over and stuff, but I'm missing some things. Like I don't know what happened to, I had a stand-up sign that said, you know, I take everything because PayPal and stuff, and that sign seems to be missing, and I don't know where it went. So there's that. And that's going to be an issue as I look around trying to figure out how I'm going to do all this. Wonder if I should take some of the pages we've already done for the comic and print them out.
And do cell work on them?
No, just have them on the table so when people ask me, what do you do? Well, we're doing this comic. Here's the comic. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
Not-
what you could do is you can print it as an Ashcan. In an Ashcan, you don't have the full amount of pages. You have everything. You don't even have to have it colored. You can have it just inked, and then you can print it with the words and everything, and then
And then
um, uh, basically you have. I did this for one of our stories where basically we took the front cover, we shrunk it down to 5.5 by 8.5.
Mhm.
We printed the first 10 pages of the comic, and then when we released it, we had the full thing, but everyone got a sample through the ash can, and you can sell the ash cans for like maybe $2 or $3.
Hmm.
You just have to get it to a point where, like,
It's
you just have to,
coherent.
yeah, you just need to have it like a natural stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, maybe after the first after the first like transition in the story, before you go into the later half transition.
Maybe. I mean, because I was going to go to Kinko's or whatever here in a bit. Oh, I was going to drop one of these. Put these here. I mean, that might not be a bad idea. I think what I might also do is dismantle this. I'm dismantling all of the sign units so that I can take them with me. It's interesting. Brent was spelling Brent spells his name George Takai, and I put the SP on there. A lot of people misspell it Takai instead of Takei with an EI, and he's addressed that and said, I don't mind it because Takai in Japanese means expensive, and I'm okay with that. I'm expensive, and I'm like, okay, well, you do you. I think that's pretty funny. I'm only saying that because it's a funny story, not to call Brent out for misspelling his name.
Doesn't it mean like good luck, or like it means something very good in Japanese?
Takai?
Yeah,
Yeah, it means expensive.
yeah.
It also means high up, like high altitude. But that if you say high here, you get a different connotation. So, all right. Oh my goodness. First time I've sat down since like 5 this morning. Okay. Let's create some signage. You can con properly with us. There we go. Give ourselves some lines here. And then make some of it. I'll just make it into the trade dress that we have already come to know and love. There we go. All right.
So, yeah, I think we figured out the first introduction to the Sassy Sasquatch finally. So basically, it's going to be the Sassy Sasquatch carrying food out to the restaurant where people are being like TikTokers and like delivering food as a Sasquatch delivering food
Sorry.
to the
Mhm.
TikTokers. Then they basically start screaming with excitement, like some TikTokers do. And the Sasquatch, being the Sasquatch, is looking at them with disdain and annoyance. So
Fair?
basically, these TikTokers have not actually done anything at the Sassy Sasquatch. So I think, like, behind the scenes of them, it's going to basically be like no phones, no cameras, nothing like that, all over around the booth. So make it even more ironic when he's taking the food to the table and they're filming him.
Okay.
Well, I mean, would you want your picture taken if you're running a restaurant and you're a Sasquatch?
Are you talking to me about this? Because I'm saying
Yes, I
okay.
am. Yes, I am.
Because I'm like, I don't have anything else to say. I'm
Well,
just
how can you say anything to the Sassy Sasquatch?
exactly. What is my problem?
Yeah.
All I'm doing is just talking to the sassy Sasquatch. It's so hard to say. Somewhere in all of these weird things, I've set up all of the like convention stuff, and I don't know why I can't find it. Keep putting it places, and then I don't see it.
That's me.
Yep. Character portraits. Character portraits is useful. It's got some signage. Maybe I should move that into my convention folder. I'm not reading anything because I'm moving stuff around. Sorry.
Don't mess with the Sasquatch Beef Jerry commercials.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, by the way, it's official. I actually am the oldest artist on the current project that I'm on.
I was going to say, it's official you're married? Congratulations.
No, it didn't take that long. It didn't take that
I
long.
wasn't going to let that one go. That had to go. We had to keep going with that one.
Uh,
Well, hey y'all. Somewhere I had a bunch of stuff for like when I went out looking at lists of things like what should you have on your table and stuff like that. And
uh-huh.
I can't find it. It was just so aggravating. I'm like, oh. Important to me. This is the problem. I've gotten to the point where I really just can't find anything anymore because so many things are all over the place.
Careful, guy. Some may say that you're approaching that age.
Yeah, well, feel like this is probably more likely to be that I just simply have many terabytes of of stuff. Well, that sounded unpleasant.
Well, it was a wonderful pencil sharpener.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. Whale? Hail. I don't have to go look for it again because it was kind of cool. So what do you usually put on your tables when you table?
Me?
Yep.
Well, I have prints. I have products.
Yeah.
I try to put a variety of products out so that I have something that anyone can buy. For people who have money to spend at conventions, I have like products for them, so it's more expensive. If they want to support me in that manner, I just try to I try to make everything so that I have something that anyone could appreciate. Um, I think I'm actually going to start, well, not the Dallas Fort Worth, Texas thing, but if I do anything outside of the conventions that I have set with the company that I'm affiliated with, I will. I essentially will be. I essentially will be basically bringing like watercolor, a paint that I made, um, comic pages. If I print them out and want to sell them that way, I could do that. Normal prints, stuff that like you normally would see on a table. I'm thinking about getting some stickers made.
Mm-hmm.
If I do a Kickstarter, I kind of wanted to. I was talking with someone about maybe doing vinyl figure, like a vinyl figure finally, or maybe two of them. And then having more printed so that I could sell them at conventions as well. But again, that's me. I don't know if you want to have that done. Vinyl printing, by the way, takes a little bit more in-depth time, so I don't think you'll have that by the convention time that you need.
No, yeah.
But I usually dress up my table. I have an official sign for us, so that people don't just like come up to the table and like they're like, oh, you're just this person, and it's like nope, because usually most of my stuff involves Bill too, so
Yeah.
There's that. Normally he's been going like, oh, I'm just the writer. So we're trying to get him. I'm trying to get him to like write some other stuff, like some like novels and stuff, so that he actually has a product too that is not with me, but maybe I did like the cover or something for it.
Fair. Fair.
So. But yeah.
A
Is it-
portable battery pack. That's useful. Are you there?
Let's see. Well, Bill actually wants a portable battery pack. We bring one for our phones and stuff, but like he's talked about like getting like a battery pack, like an actual like legitimate like thing, kind of like a portable like electrical like feel,
Yeah.
like basically a portable transformer.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, we can sell the access to the other tables. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Brent's saying I should take George. At this point in time, George might go with me anyway because he keeps hopping into the bins. So I might still have George.
Well, if you bring George, just know that you have a bunch of people.
Yeah. George might love that. I might think that's cool.
I mean,
Especially if they give him scritches. He's into scritches. So,
if he's a people cat, then yeah, he would enjoy it.
yeah, he is a people cat, all right. Yeah, I'm thinking about all the things you don't think about, like tape, scissors.
If you're wanting to bring like supplies for like business, scissors, tape, a card reader just in case you need to take a card, for instead of
Mostly
cash.
cards.
Huh?
It's mostly cards usually these days.
Yeah, I still bring about $50 worth of change with me just in case it's cash, because a lot of the times people will only support through cash, um, because it's easier on the artist to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, like there's some people who will refuse to use cash at conventions, but they don't realize that as artists that are attending conventions for like as in a creative table, some events actually charge you for using the Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore doing credit card transactions is actually detrimental to the artist. So it just depends on the event for me. When I went to Crypticon last year or earlier, no, yeah, last year. That convention, like we didn't have to pay for the Wi-Fi access, so we just literally just took credit card payments right there. But yeah, like there were some people that like took the card payment, like I did the card payments for, but like my next event, I'm not doing card payments because realistically, I can't. Like I've just been hacked too many times, and I don't feel comfortable doing it anymore now. So, um, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
So
That makes sense. Service dogs might annoy George. You might not be happy about that aspect. The other aspects are cool. That aspect wouldn't be. You're right. In 95.
unless it was a service dog that thought it was a cat.
Right? Are you a service dog or are you a service cat? That's why I didn't do this today. Okie dokie, okie dokie. what I need is to figure out what I did with my rolling box. Because my rolling box has a lot of stuff about it. How about PayPal, Pepper?
My
Just like
PayPal
saying
is one of the
Pepper.
ones. My PayPal is actually one of the ones that got hacked.
I've been using PayPal for years and I've never gotten hacked. It means I'm going to get hacked right now because I just opened my big mouth.
Yeah. It got hacked, and luckily there was no recent transactions in it. But I was still able to log in and everything. But what had happened was they were sending out stuff to people to pay me, and it was not stuff that actually was going to go back to me. They were trying to get people to pay me um, for items I was not even aware that I was supposed to do. So I basically had to re-strengthen the account, but now it just makes it harder to use PayPal because I don't know if I can trust it. I did reset it, and I
What
did
would be the
change
point of
everything.
that?
Huh?
What would be the point of that?
What do you mean?
Making it so that sending out invoices on your behalf if they can't get the money.
Oh yeah, no. So they can they sent out invoices on my behalf, yes. But what could have happened is like essentially those invoices got paid, and then they would have taken it, and my bank account info was on there. So they could have basically set up a new bank account or basically drained my account from my bank directly from PayPal. So they send it out. If those get paid, they take the money, put it in an alternate account. But then when those people ask for a refund, it comes out of my personal bank account at that point. Do you see what I'm saying?
I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so it's kind
The
of like
system wouldn't work very well.
it's kind of like one of those one of those people that sends you a check to cash it into your checking account, and then the checking account, like you put it in your checking account thinking you're going to get that money, but then the check bounces, and so that money now goes into the account where the back into the account type deal.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah, I
it's
get
similar
that.
to that. It's
Yeah.
similar to that. So basically, like say the hacker made an invoice to you for you to pay me $250. But I have no idea why you're sending me $250 unless I look at the invoices that were being sent out. Well, they collect that money, put it in their bank account, but then you don't see a product and you don't have anything mailed, and I don't follow up with you about having something delivered to you. So you request PayPal to do a refund. Now that refund comes out of my personal checking account.
I get it.
So essentially, they're not stealing the money from you, they're stealing the money from me.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, how do they get into your account to fire off invoices?
My password, I guess, was a little bit too weak,
Oh, okay.
and it was, and I didn't set up like the two thing authenticator yet.
Authorization. Yeah.
Yeah,
So your password was password 1.
no, the old password was basically a password I had been using for years. No one had ever guessed it, so it came as a shock that someone figured it out.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really I can do after that.
I gotta admit, this is a nice red. I went to Gyrie's, and the guy was like, "Oh, I would recommend this red, but we're out of red." And then he was like, "Oh, the place right next to it is also the same red." And I was like, "Ooh, look at that red!" So They're talking about opera pink and how alarming opera pink can be sometimes.
Not like the Picus pink though.
No, the pink is awesome. 16 levels of insane. I am going to bring watercolors with me in case we're bored and have nothing better to do. TGIF. Well, for you anyway. For me, I'm like, oh God, tomorrow. Yeah. There is that. Now I'm kind of doing the poke, poke, poke. What am I forgetting? Because I know I'm forgetting something. Okay. Let's set up our sign to say something about commissions. What do you normally charge for commissions? I always feel like I never do this one right.
How big are the commissions?
Hmm?
How big are your commissions that you're wanting people to purchase?
I don't know.
Well, what size paper are you bringing to do commissions at the event? I should put
Probably only 8.5 by 11.
Okay, are you doing them watercolor or like how are you doing them? What medium?
That's a good question too. I mean, like, I am actually much more diverse than I was the last time I actually tabled. Last time I tabled was 2 years ago, and before
Right.
by then I wasn't doing watercolors.
Right. So what I have, that's why I'm asking the questions I'm asking.
So let's say we do small watercolor pieces.
Small watercolor pieces,
Yeah, like 5 by 7, let's say.
5 by 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you doing just faces? Are you doing 3/4 body shots? Are you doing full body shots with backgrounds, no backgrounds? How are you setting it up?
Wow, you like adding a whole bunch of stuff.
The reason why I'm saying this is if you're just doing character faces, you can go as low as $25 because it'll probably take you an hour to do it at most. If you're doing a 3/4 body shot and you can do it within a full hour, you can charge like $25, $35.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, and this is minimum pricing. This is minimum pricing. If that's what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
If you do a one full character draw out plus background with details included, then I would say probably charge about like 3 times that amount because that's a lot of work, and especially if they're asking to you get it done while they're at the event. Now, if you're not doing watercolor pieces, you're just doing sketching, and it's normal sketch paper that is archival and someone can frame it, then that's a little bit different. Those are sketches. So you could probably bang those out really quickly. They could be very affordable. They can be anywhere from, because of inflation, start at $15 an hour, going all the way up to like 75, depending on what they're having you sketch out.
Okay, that's fair.
If you're using markers, if you're using inks on top of the pencils, and then you have to erase the pencil lines, or if you're not erasing anything, it's literally there's like a plethora of variations. So you have to kind of plan out what you are doing for commissions very, very specifically.
I guess I do. I could do like a sketch card too.
Sketch cards, I would say, start at $25 an hour, and start at $25 because of the size of it, and you're probably going to have to cut down paper so that you can have sketch cards. So you're paying. You're going to have them pay for the time that it took you to make the sketch cards with paper that you enjoy working on.
Right.
Because you can get pre-done sketch cards all you like, but in the end, if you don't like that paper, the pre-made ones also tend to be a little bit off too. So, like, sketch cards in general are usually 2.5 by 3.5, which is the same size as a business card.
Yep.
They're
slightly larger, yeah, but not much.
Yeah. I think business cards are 2.5 by 3.
They're 2.5 by 3.5, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It's so you just kind of have to, like, how much do you want to charge? A lot of people, they charge based off of, like, they'll charge based off of, like, how much they think their artwork is worth.
Right.
You have that as well.
Well, and I think,
yeah,
if I were to go with the 11 by 17 prints are like $10, which makes sense. Working in prints, all appears all over the place. Sketchers, gotcha. And then sketch cards could be $20 because usually people have a $20 bill.
Yeah.
So I'll do sketch card.
You also have to remember watercoloring at a table can be quite different than, say, using markers and stuff. I don't know.
Actually, why I was switching to sketch card, because I can take the thing of doom.
What thing?
With me, right?
Oh yeah.
I can take the thing of doom with me. I can just put it right here, and it goes with me, and then I can do sketch cards. Poof, sketch cards.
Because watercolor palettes can take up more if you don't have a travel palette.
Yeah. Well, I do have my little blue metal palette, but I still feel.
Then you would have to fill it with the colors that you use the most.
Right, which is I've got it right now rigged for Miyazaki palette. Remember my Miyazaki palette we were building?
Yeah. So, but anyways, it is 11 o'clock, folks.
It is 11 o'clock. You're like, I've been waiting for 11 to get off this damn call.
No, I haven't.
So, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go on ahead and kind of work my way through this and figure this out. I need to go to the basement anyway because there's pieces of my setup that's down in the basement. I can already tell because it's not up here. So we'll go do that. So thank you for joining us, Brent and Donald. Appreciate it. And Troy was here for a while, and that was cool.
Yep.
And so, and anybody else who's watching, that's, have a good weekend. And I'll see you guys Monday, and we'll tell you how this all went. And that's not working like you think it will. There you go. There, much better. So you're working really hard on this and it's not working. Anyway, okay, thanks for joining me. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Computer, good night.